Last week on MasterChef Australia, we said goodbye to Danielle.
Sorry, my darling.
And to Kuma.
I just think I had such fun while it lasted.
Tonight, the mystery box is back.
What the hell?
And with desserts on the menu,
It is spectacular.
someone serves up a classic.
You are a brilliant cook.
Then,
The key word here is invention.
top 10 get to show off their creativity.
Wow, I'm going to steal that idea. I love it.
But not all their experiments work out.
It's bad news all the way for the worst 3 dishes today.
At stake for the ultimate series winner, the chance to work alongside the country's top chefs, a book publishing deal, $100,000 to help realise their culinary dreams, and the title of Australia's next MasterChef.
'Cause you're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You don't really wanna stay, no. You don't really wanna go. You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down.
Top 10, and it's a pretty big deal. It's where everyone wanted to end up, and it's only upwards from here. There's a lot of stress and doing quite a bit of fitness just to keep everything balanced and keep focused.
Studying is really important in this competition because the more that you read, the more that you learn, and the more that you can take into every single challenge. We're in the top 10 now, and it's serious, and I know that I can cook, and I know that I can beat other people in this competition, so there is no reason why I can not make it to the finals week.
Every time I leave the house heading towards the MasterChef kitchen, I get these butterflies in my stomach. For me, it's a big issue with just not knowing what's around the corner.
We walk into the kitchen and we see a mystery box, something that we haven't seen for weeks, and I think everyone's pretty excited.
Welcome to another week, and what a week it is. You've walked through those doors as this year's MasterChef Top 10. Well done. You could win this competition. You could change your life, change your career, write a book, open a cooking school, run a restaurant, open a cafe, a little farm in the country, anything you want to do.
You guys are the top 10, so we thought we'd bring some old school traditional MasterChef. Today, it's the mystery box invention test doubleheader.
First one.
That's your mystery box in front of you, ready and raring to go.
I'm pretty nervous standing in front of the mystery box. I try to touch it or sniff it. Maybe, there's some smell coming out, but,
Your job is quite simple. The ingredients in your mystery box need to be turned into something special. And you will have 60 beautiful minutes to cook. If you win this mystery box challenge, you will get to choose the core ingredient that everyone must cook with in the invention test.
That's big.
There might not be an elimination writing on this mystery box, but it's really important because being able to pick what happens with the invention test is critical.
Time to kick this challenge into gear. You can lift the lids on your mystery boxes now.
What the hell? Do they want us to make a batch of scones?
In your mystery box, you'll find flour, icing sugar, caster sugar, baking powder, eggs, butter and milk. And also 3 pudding tins. Your challenge today is using those ingredients. You must create the perfect steamed pudding.
In 1 hour. In an hour.
To take your pudding from dull to dazzling, we've given you an amazing array of different ingredients. There's chocolate, there's a whole range of spices, nuts, fruit, dried fruit, jam, golden syrup, treacle. We're looking for one of those classic steamed puddings like Nana used to make, but brought bang up to date.
Steamed puddings don't scare me. Baking is my #1 favourite joy in the kitchen. And with these goods, I can bake something.
The good news is that you can come up to this pantry of ingredients as many times as you want through the challenge. We're only going to taste the top 5 dishes based on how they look and how well you perform in the kitchen. And if you ain't in that 5, then you're behind the 8 ball already. Are you ready? You in a pudding kind of mood? Because I am, and I'm getting hungry. You've got 60 minutes to cook us the best pudding of your life. And your time starts now.
I'm going to make a steamed pudding with pistachios, dried apricots and rosewater today. To go with that, I'll serve a rhubarb compote and some custard.
What are you most worried about, big boy?
Look, I really want to get this pudding right. I know it needs about half an hour to cook, so
I'm not going to
get going. Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Sun,
Hi, guys.
ever made a pudding before?
God, no.
I think we should leave some to it.
The dish I'm making today is apple and rhubarb spiced pudding, apple juice mascarpone and a butterscotch sauce.
The dish I'm making today is a caramelized pineapple and coconut pudding with lime mascarpone and a caramel sauce. I'm definitely taking risks with the flavors. I have a look of all benches, and by the look of it, everyone is doing very similar flavors. I think I have to think outside the box and do something a little bit different.
Peter,
Hey, guys.
have you made a steamed pudding before?
Never. Absolutely not. So what I'm making is a pear, walnut and chocolate pudding with a brandy custard.
Okay.
And I've got breadcrumbs too.
Okay.
And I've got chocolate and I've got eggs, yolks and sugar.
Right.
And I'm going to combine those together, kind of a bit like a cake kind of recipe.
Rightio then.
Let's see how we go.
Hayden,
Gary, George?
have you ever eaten a steamed pudding?
Probably not.
Yeah, see, I knew that. Look at his stomach. Look, that is a surface stomach. This is a pudding stomach, George. And that's a little pudding stomach too. So do you know what you're doing?
It's going to be a oozy chocolate pudding.
Okay. Like a self-saucing pudding?
It's going to be self-saucing, hopefully. It should be cooked right. And with some cream, some berries, and just nice and light. And
You can't go wrong with a self-saucing chocolate pudding. Okay, how you going?
Gary and George,
Is it
I'm going
cooking
well.
yet?
Not
Is it
yet.
cooking yet? What do you mean?
Not yet.
25
I'm only
minutes
doing
into
little
the
ones.
challenge.
I know, but I've got some ice cream on the go.
Then you
I'm
just
doing a white chocolate and raspberry pudding with a Kahlua ice cream
What's this?
and maybe some macadamia nuts. That's a syrup to go in the bottom of the pudding so that when you tip it out, it
And you made that
comes out
fresh?
over the top. Yeah.
Lovely.
This is your first challenge in the top 10. So it's time to stand up, it's time to put your hand up, and it's time to win this thing. You've got less than 15 minutes to go.
I've got this massive pudding. I have no idea how long this thing is going to take to cook.
I'm worried about that thing in there. That's not going to cook in time, is it?
You don't think so?
And you've got a big pudding in there as well, haven't you?
That's right.
Yeah, but he's got
Is
a
that
backup.
cooked?
Not sure.
Billy's got a backup. He's freed himself from the fear that the big one's not going to stick because he's got this little tiny one in case it doesn't work. And I'm thinking, that is genius.
Time to hurry and worry. You have 3 minutes to go.
It's so close. I flip my pudding onto the plate. And that's when it starts to happen. this lava of chocolate lava coming out, and I push the thing back down.
It's not going to work, see?
So it doesn't run away from me, and flip it back over. And I've got to rethink this. So I've got like a minute and a half.
Okay, they've got to do something else.
The time has come to get the pudding out of the tin once and for all. There's no going back now. There's no more time on the clock. So I tip the pudding upside down, lift the lid. Oh, phew, it's worked. I am so relieved. The pudding looks just how I wanted it to.
Time to plate up your puddings. You've got 30 seconds to go. And Peter, how are you going to serve the soup? Let's go.
I've just got to get some of the best bits out of the bowl and onto a plate in some kind of decent fashion.
You've got 10 seconds to go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, come on, 2, 1.
Flip out the pudding, lift the ramekin.
That's it.
Then poof, it just cracks on the side.
Your time's up. Well done.
I'm in all sorts of trouble. It's terrible.
You've just completed the pudding mystery box. Remember, we're only going to taste the top 5 dishes based on how they look and how you performed in the kitchen. Have you done enough to get into that top 5? Let's find out.
Those judges snake around the benches and make you think they're going to stop and then they pull away. It is actually quite nerve-wracking. You want them to stop and taste yours.
Kate, what have you cooked? What's the
I've cooked
pudding?
a raspberry and white chocolate pudding with a Kahlua ice cream.
Should we taste?
Please.
Yeah, that went through nicely. I'm salivating. Yeah, this is rubbish.
I hate it. The combination of white chocolate and raspberry, that slight saltiness of the right chocolate, the tang of the raspberry is such a great combination. But what you've done is, by introducing Kahlua in your ice cream, you've given it another little twist in terms of that chocolate.
It is spectacular.
Whoa. I got to be happy with that.
What have you made?
Apple and rhubarb spice pudding with a apple juice mascarpone and a caramel sauce.
Gentlemen, should we taste?
Yeah, let's taste.
Cover it with caramel sauce.
Wow.
Beautiful complementary flavours of rich butterscotch, sharp ginger, and then that fantastic mascarpone with apple juice. The presence of the apple juice really lifts that whipped mascarpone, so it's very light and refreshing.
If one of my little chefs came up to me and said to me, "Chef, I want to do apple mascarpone using apple juice," so you're crazy, it will separate, there's too much acidity in it. But wow, I'm going to steal that idea. I love it.
Thanks.
For me, the problem is your pudding. It needs to be lighter and fluffier, and it's a bit too biscuity. It's a bit too much about the crust and not enough about the airy, soft, cakey inside.
What have you cooked?
Oozy chocolate pudding with berries and cream.
Hayden, absolutely love the way you plated this dish, but this pudding split because it wasn't properly cooked.
Yeah.
And really, it just needed a couple more minutes in the oven. You just got to be really careful with your timings.
Yep.
Get them wrong, and you get a dish that doesn't quite get there. Get them right, you have a winner.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, guys.
Billy, what have you cooked?
Well, I'm going to call it a pina colada pudding. It is a coconut pudding. On top is a caramelized pineapple with golden syrup, and just served with a lime, mascarpone, and some caramel sauce.
What have you done to this mascarpone?
It's just mascarpone and icing sugar and lime juice. I think because of the lime juice that make it
Sort of curdled a bit.
curdle. Yeah. The lime mascarpone is a disaster. I kind of knew that's gonna happen. Maybe I shouldn't have served it.
Da, da, da.
Nothing picked me. So I guess now I just got to really hope that Middle Eastern pudding's nice and light.
I'm digging in.
Tastes a bit like you've crash landed into the middle of a Persian bazaar. There's orange blossom and there's rose water and there's chunks of orange, and you've got all these flavours with none dominating, and that's the real success because they're quite big flavours. You manage to meld them carefully together. The custard is great, and overall I think you've done a really good job. Well done.
There's definitely a lot on the line today. I want to be number one to get that advantage in the invention test.
The top 5 puds today were, of course, cooked by Hayden, Michael, Kate, Sun, and Billy. 5 tasty puddings, but only one of you gets the prize. The winner of the Mystery Box Challenge is... The top 5 puds today were, of course, cooked by Hayden, Michael, Kate, Sun, and Billy.
The 5 dishes have been tasted, and it's time to find out who's going to get that advantage going into the invention tests.
5 tasty puddings, but only one of you gets the prize. The winner of the Mystery Box Challenge is... Kate.
I'm so excited. Now I've actually got to use that advantage and make it work for me.
It was the lightness, the white chocolate and the raspberry combination that were the winners for me. Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm really pleased you enjoyed it.
You reckon it'll give you an advantage in the invention test?
My goodness, if it doesn't, then there's something wrong.
So you're going to take out the mystery box and the invention test?
That's the plan. I'm sorry, guys.
Right, first challenge of the week done and dusted, but now the challenge that really matters, the invention test. The key word here is invention. At this stage of the competition, we're demanding new ideas, fresh ideas. We want to see what you're made of. There are major ramifications for this invention test. The winner will get unprecedented power as we move through the week. And then there's that obvious benefit, a chance to fight off for one of those elusive immunity pins. No one's got an immunity pin at the moment. Win one now, and you're there, almost undoubtedly through to the final week. Are those other goodies? Well, you just have to wait to find out.
I don't know what it is exactly, but whoever is the winner today is going to be really the one to watch out for.
It's bad news all the way for the worst 3 dishes today. It'll earn their makers a spot in tomorrow's pressure test, and from there, someone will be going home.
It's all going to count in the invention test, and I so don't want to be in the bottom 3.
Now for the big question. What's the all-important theme for today's invention test? I'm going to let you guys work that one out for yourselves while I introduce our guest judge. Please welcome from Maha and St. Catherine's in Melbourne, Shane Delia.
I'm Shane Delia, chef and owner of Maha Bar and Grill. The food we serve at Maha is quite unique. We put it under a Middle Eastern banner with a Mediterranean twist. There's a lot of misconception with Middle Eastern food. It isn't about heat. It isn't about loads of meat and loads of fish. Middle Eastern food is about subtle, fragrant spices. It's about food that lifts the soul and heightens the senses.
Shane, can you tell our contestants what the theme of today's invention test is?
Well, the theme of the invention test is going to be the birthplace of modern cuisine, Middle Eastern.
To me, that's exciting. The Middle East is not just one tiny little area. You know, it extends from Egypt all the way through nearly to Pakistan. And the flavours and the spices and the way they combine those is awesome.
Kate, your winning the mystery box gives you a huge head start. Time to head to the pantry with George and Shane and make your decision.
Kate's picking the core ingredient. And frankly, we all better watch out because that girl is here to win and she's definitely going to pick something that plays to her strengths but also plays to other people's weakness.
Under these covers are 3 different core ingredients, 3 different roads that you can go down. The first core ingredient is cheese. 3 cheeses, feta, halloumi and labneh. And the second core ingredient is lamb. So there's only one more core ingredient to choose from.
We've got some amazing, luscious figs.
Ooh.
Nice and sweet.
Oh.
I am feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders right now. I want to get this right. I want to make this work for me.
Kate is looking pretty smiley right now and pretty happy with her choice. I think there might be something quite scary underneath that Hessian cloth.
Right now, Kate holds your futures in her hands. And I'm sure you want to know what's under that Hessian cloth. Kate, let's tell them what the 3 choices were.
The 3 choices I had to choose from were cheese, lamb and figs.
Please not cheese. Please not cheese. For the love of God.
Kate, I think it's about time you put them out of their misery.
The core ingredient I've chosen is figs.
Figs.
Dessert's just not my strong point. I really think that Kate wants to push myself into cooking desserts. I'm not going to cook a dessert. I'm not going to fall into that trap. This morning's disaster was so much my worst nightmare. And I can't see any reason why I can't make a savoury dish that incorporates figs.
We're looking for Middle Eastern invention, not middle-of-the-road convention. Unlimited choices, away you go.
Running to the pantry, I know what I'm going to need. I'm going to need to get all my ingredients for my fig stew, but I'm also going to need to make sure I grab the core ingredient figs.
You got less than a minute, guys.
Just 2 minutes just goes like that. I'm in there grabbing all the different things. You know, I need cream, I need eggs, I need gelatin. Obviously, don't forget those figs, get the figs. All the things that I'm going to need to create my dessert.
5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. You get figs, brother?
I got figs. Did you get figs?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, there's a lot at stake. Whoever wins this challenge walks away with a huge advantage.
The judges have said that the winner is going to be given unprecedented power in this competition. If there was ever a time to win a challenge, it's today.
You've got 90 minutes to cook us a fabulous dish and blow Shane's socks off. Show him some respect for the food that he cooks. You up for the challenge?
Yes!
Your 90 minutes starts now.
I'm going to cook fig stew, spiced figs, cauliflower puree, and spiced deep-fried cauliflower. As I start unpacking, I notice that I'm missing the core ingredient, figs. I can't believe it. It's just completely slipped my mind. I'm panicking at this point. How am I supposed to make the dish without any figs?
Have your say. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter and use the hashtag MasterChef to tweet during the show.
The rules for this Middle Eastern invention test, we all have the same core ingredient, which is figs. The winner of this challenge is going to go on to face immunity, and the bottom 3 are going to be up for elimination in tomorrow's pressure test.
As I start unpacking, I notice that I'm missing the core ingredient, figs. I can't believe it. It's just completely slipped my mind. I'm panicking at this point. How am I supposed to make the dish without any figs? Just actually heard that Billy's actually forgot to grab butter. I swapped me some butter for some figs. Luckily, I grabbed a few things of butter. Billy is really grateful to get the butter, and I'm really grateful to grab those figs.
Cool.
Sweet.
Cool.
Good deal.
Today I'm gonna make Moroccan vegetable stew and serve with mint couscous with some pomegranate. I want it to be very hot and spicy like a Moroccan stew.
Peter.
Hey, George.
Middle Eastern.
Yep.
What do you know about it?
I'm doing a savoury dish, and so what I'm making is a braise using the eggplants, chickpeas, and then a lot of aromatics. And then I'm also making some flatbread. I'm drying some figs out in the oven, and I'm going to squish the flatbreads. I'm trying to put the figs in between the flatbread and toast it off, so it'll be a pistachio and fig flatbread to go with it.
Balance of spice is crucial. It's about harmony.
And nice balance. Okay, I'll work on that, thanks.
I am going to make honey poached figs with a pomegranate ice cream, a spiced fig jelly and pistachios. For the spiced fig jelly, I need to make a fig and spice syrup. Once I've got that syrup, I add some gelatin leaves.
What's your ratio of liquid to gelatine?
I generally work on the ratio of 6 leaves to a litre.
6 leaf sets, usually?
Well, yeah, might go more.
I
Do what you know.
Yeah, do what you know.
Just start to doubt myself and think, oh, it's going to be a disaster if this jelly doesn't set.
Danny?
Hi.
Middle
How you
Eastern?
doing?
You were saying earlier today that you were reading Middle Eastern cookbooks.
Yeah, I love the flavours and I'm really excited by the food.
What is your dish?
I'm doing a fig and pistachio frozen baklava.
Frozen baklava.
Teaching us something.
Wow.
Great.
What's that all about?
So I'm making like a baklava ice cream, so hitting the citrus and honey and spices notes and then using the filo pastry as like a sandwich between the ice cream, and hopefully the ice cream will set in time and it will all come together.
Danny, rock and roll.
Thanks, mate.
Too good.
Today I'm cooking a sweet dukkha baked fig and panna cotta tart.
A sweet dukkha?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I like the sound of that.
With the fig.
Yeah, so it's going to be dukkha crusted fig tart with a fig panna cotta.
That's inventive, and that's what this challenge is about. And I love the fact that you've come up with a little sweet dukkha. Never heard of it before?
No, neither have I.
Hayden, what have you done?
The dish is going to be figs 3 ways. It's going to be a grilled fig with a fig and pistachio ice cream and a fig and rosewater jelly with a bit of syrup to go with it all.
And is your ice cream made?
Yeah, it's in the ice cream machine down here.
Churning?
Yeah.
I'm expecting an absolute cracker dish.
Yeah, it's funny
it's
you
got to
told
look beautiful.
I suppose the sticking point is going to be getting that jelly set right and making sure it turns out onto the plate nicely.
Top 10? We want more.
Okay.
I've got my vegetable casserole is in the oven and it's coming along. It's just got to be garnished up. I've got to finish off my dip and my flatbreads. That's it. I've got everything chopped up. It's just a matter of cooking it.
Don't forget, we're looking for a big-alicious dish. You've got a half an hour to go.
This is my ice cream. It hasn't churned very well. Without this element, it's just going to be pastry. I'm getting it in the blast freezer now. I'm going to give it half an hour in there. Hopefully it will be cold, frozen, maybe not. Hopefully it will set in time.
I should really get this ice cream in the blast chiller, shouldn't I? What do you reckon?
I don't know, mate. I'm not good with ice cream.
There's 20 minutes to go and I check on my ice cream and it's just not set. getting really frustrating. I think I've got the custard wrong, the consistency's not right, but I think I'm going to have to get in the blast chiller and make sure it's going to be right.
How do you think it's all going? Jelly's worked?
The jelly's worked, the sponge base has worked, the ice cream has worked. I check on the ice cream and the jelly, both are set beautifully. I'm really happy at this point in time. This dish looks like it's going to come together.
It's great to see your heads are down, your bottoms are up. You've got 5 minutes to go.
I am so thankful that that ice cream has set in time. It's actually set to the point where I can cut it. This is good. This is good.
I decide to try and put the poached figs on the top, but the jelly starts to slide. Oh no. Okay. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is all turning to a disaster.
A lot's on the line. Remember, every single advantage can help you win. You've got 1 minute to go.
I'm leaving the jelly and the ice cream in the fridge and the freezer right to the last minute so that hopefully it'll be set in time. The last minute and I spoon out my ice cream. It's sort of runny and wet. It hasn't set.
Last little touches, 10 seconds to go.
I get the jelly out, flip it onto the plate.
5, 4.
It sort of goes and then
3,
splatters everywhere.
2, 1, Saha!
3 elements on the plate, only one of them worked.
We've all just completed the Middle Eastern Invention Test and now we wait to have our dishes tasted by the judges and determine who's the top person today and who are the bottom 3.
First person would like to taste, Michael. Michael, what have you cooked?
It's a sweet dukkha baked fig with panna cotta and a pastry base.
That is absolutely beautiful, that pastry on the bottom. It's buttery and short and really delicious. I love the panna cotta because it's not thick and stodgy and rubbery. It's soft, giving and delicious. The sweet dukkha is inspiring and absolutely yum. There's not really much I want to fault about it because I like it a lot. Thank you.
I have to say, I like the concept, you know?
Yeah.
Sweet dukkha, amazing. If it works. The nuts are beautifully roasted, pastry is beautiful and short. You don't have to do any work to chew it, it just melts. Really good dish, mate. Great work.
Thank you very much.
Michael, well done. Grab your dish and back to your bench.
Billy, please, bring forward your dish.
Looks very Middle Eastern. I think that there's a lot of heat in there. So much heat that it masks the flavour of everything else. Like all I can taste in my mouth now is just the big punch in the face. That's obviously from the pepper that you've used.
Thank you.
I was making sure I put a lot of flavors and spices into the dish. Sadly, I just heavy-handed with all the spices.
Danny?
That is absolutely unbelievably good. Crisp sheets of phyllo, a lovely orangey orange blossom flavoured syrup on the top, little crunchy bits of pistachio, and that amazing fig ice cream. It's just plain brilliant. It's so good. I'm so happy to see you deliver something that at last shows us the potential that we've known you've had all along. Well done. That is exhilarating cooking.
Thank you very much. Walking back to my bench, I could not be happier. I feel like I'm floating on a cloud. I'm really excited.
It's time to get your dish tasted. Matt, what have you cooked?
I've made caramelised figs and then like a little fig kind of stew, and then with fried cauliflower and a cauliflower puree.
I think, personally, that the cauliflower puree is very bland. It would have been easy to sort of Middle Eastern it up a little bit, give it a bit more zhuzh, bit of garlic, bit of chopped parsley, a little bit of coriander seed. There was hardly anything in there. Figs on their own, beautiful. With the cauliflower actually dumbed the figs down a little bit. You know, it kind of muddled it up.
Kate, would you like to bring your dish up to the tasting table?
I'm starting to have visions of these people in the past that have had the same advantage of me and have ended up in the bottom, and I'm just thinking, I just don't want to be in the bottom, please.
So this is honey poached figs with pomegranate ice cream, spiced fig jelly and pistachio shard.
All right, proof's in the pudding. Let's try it. How much gelatin did you put in that jelly?
I ended up putting in 4 leaves into about 3/4 of a cup.
What I don't like is that jelly on the top. Like, texturally, it's completely wrong.
I'm thinking that that jelly is my downfall. I doubt very much that I will be the winning dish today.
Hayden, please bring forward your dish.
Walking up with my dish, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to rip shreds off me. This is terrible. It's disappointing.
I was starting to look for another utensil. I thought maybe I could get a straw to suck up the jelly. A lot of rose water in there. The jelly's got heaps of rose water and it hasn't set, so you've missed that whole textural component of the dish. There's not really much I can say about the dish because there's not really much I can actually pick up and eat.
Okay. Peter, bring forward your dish, please.
You're always anxious when you take your plate to the judges because you never really know how it's going to go, but I'm happy with the way it looks. I'm very happy with the way it tastes. It tastes like the Middle East.
You've got all that delicious bread with that fig and shallot filling ready to just, you know, fold around that beautiful stew. You know, figs and eggplant and the preserved lemon, the chickpeas is absolutely delicious. I think it's a smashing dish, it really is. I want more, but it's time to walk away.
Thanks.
You know what? But I think you've made an absolutely beautiful savoury dish.
Thanks, George. It seems like, you know, I'm sort of a contender. Thank you. It's a kind of great kind of fairy tale ending to a horrible start.
A fabulous invention test. It pushed every little creative bone in your body. And I think you've done yourselves proud. You really pushed the envelope and you delved with both hands into those Middle Eastern flavours. Good job. Tough tasting for us. Now we've got to decide who's made the best dish and, of course, the 3 least impressive.
There's a little voice inside me saying, Danny, you haven't done enough. I don't want to be pipped at the post.
Right. This is it. Our top 3. If I call your name, please step forward. Right, this is it. Our top three. Danny. Peter. The final member of our triumphant trio, Michael. The winner of this invention test is going to pick up not just a place in an immunity challenge, but also another huge advantage going forward in the week. It's a kind of advantage that could really set the cat amongst the pigeons. The winner of the Middle Eastern invention test is Danny.
I have won. Really? I have actually won, and not only have I won, I also get the opportunity to play for immunity, and I've got some sort of unprecedented power this week. It's so good.
Look, I think the dish really resonated what we were saying in the beginning of the competition. Subtle spices, balance, bit sensual. It was an amazing dessert.
I bags this recipe for my restaurant. You won!
I know, it's really exciting. I can't really believe it. At the start of this competition, I honestly didn't think that I would ever get the opportunity to go for immunity. And I think in the last few weeks, I've just put everything aside. I thought I'm just going to be who I want to be and be myself. I'm just going to go in with confidence every single challenge.
Shane, thank you so much for joining us here in the MasterChef kitchen and setting this amazing Middle Eastern challenge.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you in St. Catherine's, John, mate.
See you, mate. See you. See how I can.
Let's go.
Come on. Now that I've conquered the invention test, the next thing to do is to go into that immunity challenge with my head screwed on, with the confidence that I had bought into the invention test, and I have to win the immunity pin.
For one of you, tomorrow's pressure test will be the end of your MasterChef story. If I call your name, please step forward. Hayden.
It was fairly obvious that I was going to be standing there, and definitely didn't come as a shock.
Billy. Matt.
Going into a pressure test in the top 10 against Billy and Hayden, I couldn't think anything more scary right now.
Matt, Hayden, Billy, I'm sorry, but today your dishes just didn't impress. Girls, you've done enough to save yourselves today. Get out of here and go and get some rest.
It's a bit of a shock to see these three in the elimination challenge tomorrow because all three are very good cooks.
Hayden, a few days ago, you were the golden boy. The immunity pin on your chest, you then used it to avoid a team elimination, and now you find yourself vulnerable, facing elimination through a pressure test. How do you pick yourself up when it's all turned around so quickly?
I think shake yourself off, learn from your mistakes and get on with the job and do what you know you can do. And I think that's what I'm going to go into tomorrow thinking. Obviously, there's a psychological thing with not having that pin there. It was my little security blanket and now it's gone.
Matt, you've not been in a pressure test before?
No.
How do you get through it, do you think?
Well, I've been in quite a few team eliminations, though. Hopefully do the exact same thing that I'd normally do, just stay focused, come in amped up. I think I've learned a big lesson today. A decent dish isn't going to be good enough. It's got to knock their socks off. There's no time for staying in the middle. It's time to, soar above.
Billy, how's your confidence?
I think I still have what it takes. For today, it was one of those days I did it badly, but I want to see the positive side of things. Maybe, going to the pressure test is a good thing for me to have another chance to cook.
Tomorrow is a fresh day. Wake up with, all that strength that you have. It's got to come from here. and it's got to come from here. You do that, and you'll be fine, okay? Off you go, get a good night's sleep, big smiles on your face, because you're back here tomorrow to cook to save yourself in this competition, all right? Off you go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Every day is hard work in this kitchen, but at the same time, I enjoy it. You just have to go and fight for it and never look back.
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia.
Do not let this be the last dish you ever cook in the MasterChef kitchen. You've got to go for it.
But with so much at stake,
Everything rides on this.
the cracks start to show.
There's 1 minute, the bird is still in the oven, and everyone's yelling at me, "Get on the plate!"
And at this stage of the game, who can afford to dish up a disaster?
Rubbish.
For one of you, the adventure is over.
Then later in the week,
The enemy's arriving.
iconic English chef Marco Pierre White
8 quail, 8 quail, 8 quail. Yes, Marco.
in full flight
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
They need to go in the oven now.
Come on.
4 minutes, Marco.
I want it in 1.
He is pushing me, he's pushing my team. It is unbelievable, the stress that I am under.
How long for 11 quail? How long for 11 quail?